Shekoyach Ari. Breakfast is sponsored by, as you just heard, Leilui Nishmas Mordechai Herschel Ben Yechiel Zalman by Shana and Ari. We love you guys. This has always been your home. Be'ez Hashem, it will always be your home for many years, and our home is the farm too. So it's back and forth. Today is also my grandmother's yortzeit, Chaya Rachel Bas Tzvi Hirsch, my mother's mother, 26 years, and I'm sure you all know also it's. I can pass these out. It's the Yortzeit of the Noam Elimelech today as well. There's big stuff going on. Be'ez Hashem, the Sfarim will be here. Be'ez Hashem next week. They did send the Sfarim, it was just the wrong sefer. So that just means that that's a mania that means it's going to be even more and more and more chazak. And today we're going to start a new mimer here by Rav Biderman. Gorgeous mimer by Rav Biderman on the first page on Daf Dalet that you have in front of you. Every week that we come to this Achana Shabbos Shir, it's basically just discovering how really precious and deep the gift called Shabbos truly is. And the ways that we've been seeing it just show up in different ways every single week. But it's truly a completely vital, that's probably the right word, a vital way of how we end off the week and how we go, especially on Fridays, how our Fridays are being conducted. And today today's just beautiful. We're just gonna start this mimer. It's just absolutely beautiful. So let's just jump right into it. Did it get to the back, Chaver? The Chaver haven't? They're not enough copies. I made 30. There's not enough. Okay, Baruch Hashem. That's a very good thing. Okay, so Rav Biderman says like this. This is so beautiful. Gdol HaKedushas HaShabbos Yosem Mikol HaMoadim Mikol HaZmanim. Shabbos is greater than all the. It seems what he says here about all the yantivs. On the level of Zman, the greatness of Shabbos is greater than anything in the world. B'kach tiknu chachamim b'seder atfila leil Shabbos, and we say this, ukdushaso mikol hazmanim. Where do we say this? It's in the Shmona Esrei, right? In the Ata Kidashto Esim V'Shvi L'Shmecha Tachlis Ma'aseh Shemaim V'Aretz V'Rachto B'Kidashto mikol hazmanim. It's words we say every Friday night. Okay, tonight we're going to pause with that in Shmona Esrei and be like, wait a second. I just said that what I'm in right now is holier. You sanctified it more than any other thing that we have on the level of time. And just pause there for a minute and be like, Rega, maza omerli, mani margish, maza b'diuk. What is that? Kidashto mikol hazmanim. Ve'af mechaperet hi al kol hachatayim va'avonot yoter yom kippurim. Wait a second. Igzamta k'tzat, no? It's a little bit exaggerated. What does he just said here? It brings more kapara for any of the shtiklach that we're up to, any of the transgressions, more than Yom Kippur. I don't want to think less about Yom Kippur. What's going on over here? K'moshe Kosav HaMinchas Shabbos Ba'akdama. The Minchas Shabbos is a parish on the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. And this is what he writes in his Akdama for the parish on the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. Halo kol ikar cherdat Yom HaKippurim hu mishum dehu Yom Slicha v'Chapara. Asher alav ne'emar ki b'yom hazeh yichaper. The whole tremendous awe that I feel from Yom Kippurim is because it's a day of forgiveness, and it says on that day, Asher alav ne'emar ki b'yom hazeh yichaper. That's the day that things get forgiven. Ve'im ken, halo yesh lanu baruch Hashem yoter mi-50 yemei Kippurim b'shana, dahainu kol ha-Shabbatot. So he says Gevalt. He says if that's the case, we have over 50 Yom Kippurs every year, through every single Shabbos. Ad kan leshono. But where is he basing this? Where is this coming from? This is Gevalt. This is Pashut Gevalt. It's sweet and it's deep. It's everything. Umevi divrei Gemara. The Gemara says in Shabbos Kuf Yudchet, Kol ha-mishamer Shabbat k'ilchato afilu oved avodah zara kedor enosh mochlin lo. We know. Yeah, you've been a bad boy. You've been a really bad boy. Oved avodah zara kedor enosh. That means it's not just like I spoke a little lashon hara. That means like kind of like what happens this Shabbos in the parsha. Kekala shezinta tachas chupasa. Like we wear with cheta egel, like an adulterous woman who committed adultery under her own chuppah. Shabbos, if you're plugged into Shabbos, for real, there's kapara for you. Ubir hataz. So the Taz says like this: "Tebevadai ena shomer Shabbat zocher lemechila belot tshuva." It's not just that. Oh, Shabbos comes even if I didn't do tshuva and I'm just cleansed. That doesn't. It's not exactly what it means. Ela kavanasam lomar. What's the kavanah of such a statement? De'af al kritos umizos beis din shenamar aleim u'shetshuva levada ina mechaperes. Regarding the things the transgressions that would have mechayev me, would obligate me with the death penalty. Im yishmor adam Shabbat kehilchato ve'yashuv b'tshuva. Meaning to say, if someone keeps Shabbos properly and does tshuva, yischaper lo ve'lo yitztarech lisbol yisurim umisa kedei lemara kavonosav. If the tshuva is done on Shabbos properly, then you don't have to go through the painful process of what we call miruk, which means the painful way of getting the kapara. That's what it means. If my Shabbos is on, and the tshuva me'ahava, like we spoke about last year from Yaakov Meir Shechter, is basically the produce of my Shabbos, tshuva me'ahava, then I don't have to go through the painful way of getting the kapara.
Talking about the tshuva of Kabbalah Shabbos?
It's not for now. It's not for now. It's a whole. It was like a month of learning we did. It's basically the tshuva me'ahava that happens on Shabbos. Ki b'schar shmiras Shabbos yizke lekaparas avonos. That in the merit, the reward of keeping Shabbos properly, that doesn't just mean making sure you're not over any halacha, but that the oneg of Shabbos is something real in your life. That's just as important. That's the deepest depths. Yizke lekaparas avonos. This is interesting. Someone pointed out this diuk. Rav Mata Frank from Breslov once pointed out this important diuk. Everyone knows a certain part of Rabbi Nachman's promise, but there's one thing they didn't add into it. What did Rabbi Nachman say about anyone that comes to his kever?
With the pays from.
What does he say over there? What should he do? What should a person do when you come to his kever? Say tikkun klali and give a pruta, and then he promises that he'll pull you out, right? But there's one more thing he says there. And he also makabels on himself tshuva shlema. Oh, that thing is not. That's the thing. The first two is mamish, publicized like other shamayim. That little nugget over there, like, oh yeah, and then that whole thing of tshuva shlema also is like, So it's tzrich iyun. You need a big dikduk, a big view.
You wouldn't need Rabbi Nachman to help him. Get him out of Gehenna.
Maybe. A Breslover wouldn't say that. Umikan. Yeah.
I think this isn't just like a cute. I think to understand the depths of it, I think just learning a lot about this with Yosef and touching stuff. That kapara is a sense of just creating, having a relationship with Hashem and getting closer, and for it to cover it, to protect that relationship. And when you bring a korban, whatever it brings a korban. So obviously this makes sense that Shabbos is that like perfect state. So you enter that state on Shabbos, and you're in that state of kapara. You've created that relationship. So
Very good. Nachon. And he brings more proofs to show what Yeshua said about the state of Shabbos. What is the state of Shabbos? What is it creating? Going into Shabbos, what is that actually? What are you actually entering into? Okay.
Like from the word before, like to cover.
To cover. Nachon. Kaporet. Right. ומכאן מוכיח המנחס Shabbos, ששמיר Shabbos מכפרת יותר מיום הכיפורים. And from here, what we just learned, the Minchas Shabbos gives a raya that Shabbos is mechaper yoter miyom HaKippurim. How? שהרי ביום הכיפורים פסק הרמב"ם, דאינו מכפר על כריתות ומיתות בייס דין בלא ייסורים. Because Rambam says that, that a person has to go through Yisurim to receive a real kapara. ואילו בשבס מסכפר לא בתשובוסו אף מבלי ייסורים. But this concept of kapara kind of takes place without the world of Yisurim, because Shabbos doesn't let entry into the world of Yisurim and affliction. That's not part of the deal of Shabbos. The way that it works is a different function. You reach the same, well, he says even the higher place, but what's the end goal of this basically? Clean. What is kapara? What is kapara? What's the result of kapara? Clean, right? So the level of cleanliness is what he's saying. That's not the way. On Shabbos, you don't go through the Yisurim part because there's no entry for that stuff there. Now look at footnote 7, Zayin on the bottom. It's just a beautiful taichi from Reb Chaim Volozhin. V'chach misam Rabbi Shemagon Reb Chaim Volozhin. It's on the bottom of the first page. שאם היו מתכוננים ברוח ובנפש לקראת השבת באותן ההכנות שהעולם מכינים את עצמם לקראת יום הכיפורים, היו זוכים להרגיש בשבס את האור הגדול דומיה דיום הכיפור. He said, if your hachana l'Shabbos was like your hachana for Yom Kippur, what you feel on Yom Kippur, you'd actually feel on Shabbos. That's Gewalt. And when I saw this, I got such chizuk for the name of this chabura. Like I got such tremendous chizuk, and also like a sense of, okay, you really got it up and up and up. Maybe we'll do a 3-hour chabura Friday morning. I don't know what it is, or meet again like at 1:30. I don't know what it is, but he's saying if the hachana was proper on the Fridays, like it is when it's hachana for Yom Kippur, it'd be we'd have a different Shabbos. That's what he's saying. We'd have a different Shabbos. Now, go to the next page. Ve'achen legodel hakdusha. Since you're entering a zman that has become so sanctified, v'kidashto mikol hazmanim. Mistalkim kol hamekatrigim v'asitra achra. Then all the prosecutors and all the chevra from the other side suddenly go away. Now it's interesting. This week we were learning in the Ish Kodesh Torah that it's not so gewaldic to call someone a malach. Because when you say, oh, you're a malach, you're basically saying you're doing exactly everything like I told you to do. A malach is not like, I don't know when it became this, oh, mamish, you're a malach. No. When you say like that, your children, my children are malachim, You're basically saying, my children do exactly everything I tell them to do. Your love depends on that. You're in a bad place. A malach is someone that does exactly what he's told to do. Therefore, what do we say before we start our own private Shabbos in our home? You're gewalt, you're doing the right thing, you escorted me home from shul, but even I can't have any energy of prosecution because the angels are prosecutors, mekatrigim. How do we know the angels are mekatrigim? Our whole relationship with the malachim are mekatrigim from the time we're kind of introduced to the world of angels. What's the first thing we know about angels? They come and give a kitrug on God to tell him, don't create the world. Don't create man. And then we have an our parsha. They don't give Yidden the Torah. Don't forget about Moshe Rabbeinu. Don't forgive them. No. Shabbos creates this place of kitrug. There's no room for it. There's no room for it. And like we say in the Zohar HaKadosh, we say this in Kegavna, Kad ayil shabsa I siachadas v'isparshas misitra achra v'chol dinin misabrin mina. Baruch Hashem, we say this every Shabbos here. And what does that mean? Kad ayil shabsa, when Shabbos arrives, when Shabbos comes in, isiachadas v'isparshas misitra achra. It is completely removed from the other side. The choldinin misabrin mina, and judgment goes ovrim mimena, goes away from it. Ve'al pi zeh bi'er Agon HaKadosh Rabbi Yonasan Ebshis Chesed Gen Aleinu had ita b'Gemara. B'sha'a she'yirad Moshe lifnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu ba Satan ve'amar lefanav Ribono shel Olam Torah heichan hi. Remember this Gemara? The Satan comes after Moshe Rabbeinu comes down from receiving the Torah, and the Satan comes and says, Where is this Torah? Where's the Torah? You gave it? You gave it? You actually gave it? V'chvar hikshu hatosfos. V'chi Satan lo haya yodea matan Torah? But the Satan wasn't around for matan Torah? Of course he knew that. Was that so clear? Ela habiur, listen to this. Ki matan Torah haya b'yom HaShabbos. Shari lekula ama b'Shabbos nitna Torah liYisrael. Because the Gemara says, when was the Torah given? On Shabbos. Who's not around on Shabbos? Satan. ומאחר שהשטן מסתלק בשבס, על כן לא היה יודע מניסינת התורה. ורק למחרס, כשחזר לתפקידו, תמה ושאל תורה היכן היא, right? He's off on Shabbos. He has no shaykhs to Shabbos. He has no entry into Shabbos. So that's what happened, that the day after Shabbos, he comes back to doing what he's supposed to be doing, right? Whatever that is. And he's like, whoa, what's going on over here? Torah heichani, where's the... It's like, yeah, listen, the Gemara is proving, Rabbi Yonasan Ebeshitz is saying basically that the Gemara is proving to us two things. One, the inyan of the Kol Ha'ama b'Shabbos nitna Torah, the Torah was given on Shabbos. And second of all, is that the Satan, the other side, has nothing to do with what Shabbos really is. Now, I know what some of you may be thinking. You're thinking, by me, the Satan comes and actually plays with my mind on Shabbos more than any other day of the week. Right? Azriel's the only one that had that thought, right? And he's laughing b'shem kulam over here right now. Right? He's laughing b'shem kulam. I don't want to get into that right now. We're gonna address that as well. It's like, what does that mean? What does it mean? It doesn't exist. What does that mean exactly?
No, he just puts enough in play during the week that it rolls over.
We'll get into it, Chavra. Now, there's just. It's not a lot of text, but each few lines here is a chunk of depth. So look what he says now. Harav HaKadosh Ba'al HaImrei Yosef. Anyone knows the Imrei Yosef is? Imrei Yosef is, I believe, I remember correctly, the Spinker Rebbe. Okay? The Imrei Yosef says, B'lashon Chazal, Aseh Shabbatcha Chol, ve'al titztarech labriot. Anyone ever learn this Gemara? What does that mean? Aseh Shabbatcha Chol, ve'al titztarech labriot. It means, when you've... Let's face it, one of the most degrading feelings we have is being needy. I have friends, I have this guy named Shlomo Katz. Sometimes he bichlalik, he drives me crazy. It's so hard for him to ask anything from anybody. Maybe it's guy, I don't know what it is, but we don't really like to feel needy. We want to be the providers, right? So the Gemara knows that that's a very big inyan by people, to not feel like to be needy, to ask for anything. So it says, Aseh Shabbatcha Chol, if you're a yid that knows you're going to be dependent on people by Shabbos for need to be, in order to make an Oinek Shabbos, to like really go all out on Shabbos. So it says there, the pshat of the Gemara is Aseh Shabbatcha Chol. Bidyuk. Kilu, mamash kacha. But he flips that pshat over here like no one's business. Look what he says. Sheine yadua hamayse berav Amram Chasida. In Kiddushin, there's a story about Reb Avram Chasida. Shetakaf alav yitzro at shezak nura bei Amram. Okay, let me first explain to you what the story in the Gemara is. In Nahardra, this Rav Avram Chasida lived in Nahardra. Now, what would happen in Nahardra is that, like it happened many times back in the day, that they would take Jewish women into captivity, right? And then there had to be Pidyon Shvuim. And basically, there'd be a place that when they were able to save the women and get them out of there, they would hide them up in an aliyat gag. They would hide them up in an attic so that no one could have access to them, so that it wouldn't happen again, right? This Rav Amram Chasida had a canny attack. He had a Yetzer Hara just went for him, and he set up a ladder, and he started climbing up the ladder to try and get to these shvuyot, yodiyot. As he's walking up there, he realizes this is hell. I'm in hell right now. So he started screaming, "Achiza'ak nura be Amram." So he started, but he was stuck on the ladder also. So you didn't know he was in a bad situation. So he started screaming, "Nura be Amram." There's a fire in the house of Amram, right? Bichdei she'yavo anashim lechabot et hasrefa, so that people come and put out the fire. Even though there was no fire, but he was saying he would get people, you say fire, fire, you get people to come and help you, right? So he's climbing up the ladder, about to get to this place, and he starts screaming in the middle. He's like, Nura be Amram, there's a fire in the house of Amram. And basically, Bichdei she'yavo anashim lechabot hasrefa ve'yitbayesh mipneihem la'avo haratzon Hashem. He'd have too much busha in front of them to go and continue the ma'aseh. When no one was looking, he almost did it. But he knew that if he had other people come, he wouldn't finish the ma'aseh, he wouldn't go up there. But that's that's the pshat of the Gemara. But again, we're learning Chassidus, we're learning the pnimius of it. So look what he says here. V'hine eitza tova nosefet keneged hayetzer hara. Hi hachrazas v'amiras tevos. Shabbos. Not the way they throw rocks on Yidden that don't keep Shabbos. You understand what I'm saying? But it's not that kind of Shabbos. Ki bekoach hazkara zo batel yetzer hara. If I know that Shabbos is the place where the Sitra Achra and others that don't exist, by me during the week that I'm falling and I'm scrolling and I'm just about to go there, he says, if you have enough koyach to scream, Shabbos, you're inviting the Kedusha of Shabbos into the moment, and you'll have too much busha, meaning it's such a potent energy because there's no Sitra Achra there, that you'll have such a koyach to be monea, to prevent yourself from going down the rabbit hole, from going down the bad place. V'zeu she'amru. Now look what he says here, Gevalt. This is what the Gemara means when it says, Aseh Shabbatcha Chol. It's Gevalt.
Rav Shlomo said Chol Moed Shabbos.
Yeah, it's Gevalt. This is what it means, Aseh Shabbatcha Chol. Ratzono lomar shetaske b'yamos hachol teva Shabbos. That during the Chol, say Shabbos. Umimela, and then he says Gevalt, and then what's going to happen like that? Al titztarech labrios, meaning you're not going to need other people to come so that you're embarrassed, right? Likro la'achirim litbayesh behem ki kvar yitbatel koach hayetzer al yedei askaras haShabbos. But he says, so if that's true during the week that it takes me to such a place, could you imagine what Shabbosing on Shabbos is all about? You see, Shabbosing on Tuesday can take you out of Gehenna. Shabbosing on Shabbos, ume'ata yesh lilmod kal v'chomer ben bno shel kal v'chomer. That means buckle up. Okay, that basically means like get it on. Okay, she'im askaras haShabbos bilvada kvar mo'ila le'ashbitz ulvata l'sayetzer hara kol sheken shebeshabbos gufa ein bo koach v'nitan lenotzcho v'la'amod b'fanav benakel. That means the potency of it is so sharp during the week. Could you imagine? Yeah, you're keeping Shabbos, you're in Shabbos, but you know what? Throughout Shabbos, say Shabbos. And every time you say Good Shabbos, say it. Like really say Good Shabbos. Or Shabbos Shalom, or Shabbat Shalom, or whatever it is. Just like say it, because if it's true on a Tuesday, give out how true that is on Shabbos Kodesh. וכבר כוסף המאירי מהקדמת הבייס הבחירה שהאדם נברא משני חלקים. Each of us is composed of two components, נפש העיוני ונפש המעשי. We haven't really seen this lashon before, but you all know the word iyun, right? You learned the iyun. What's iyun? Nefesh ha'iyuni v'nefesh ha'ma'asi. Here it means more theoretical versus practical. Okay? Nefesh ha'iyuni, the more introspective, thought-provoking place. V'nefesh ha'ma'asi. It's not exactly... At the end we'll see it is nefesh bahamis and nefesh elokit, but it doesn't sound like this in the beginning. Now he says, במשך כל ימות השבוע, כשרוצה להשתמש עם החלק העיוני, תנסה הנפש המעשי לגרור את החלק העיוני כלפי מטה. During the week, when I want to use my deeper thought-provoking part of me, the nefesh ha'ma'asi says, come on, are you kidding me? Be real, be practical, do something right now. But b'Shabbos Kodesh, the Meiri says something happens. Omer chelek haguf laneshama, ali v'richvi alai. Ali verichvi. I want to write a nigun right now. Ali verichvi alai. Shabbos, Ali verichvi alai. Meaning, come on and ride me. You are the one with the wheel in your hand. I'm telling you right now. You are the one that's running the show. It is you. It is you that's doing it. Umi godel kedushas haShabbos. From the greatness of the sanctity of Shabbos, the holiness of Shabbos. נכנסת תוספת קדושה בכל איש ישראל, אפילו בפשוט שבפשוטים, וכולו מתעלה בדרגתו. This is beautiful. He's saying, now, the Torah of it happens to you whether you like it or not comes in. It's nothing to bank on, but it's a reality to recognize and acknowledge. You know what I mean by saying it happens to you whether you like it or not? Like when you go into a mikveh, right, and you come out, what happens to you? What status are you in if you're Tameh before? Tahor. Do you have to have the deepest kavanas and machshavas while you're toiveling?
No.
In order to bring out it? No. So it happened, but we always say, but if you're already going to do it, you better do it right? So that's what we say. That's all Pnimiyas HaTorah is saying, if you're already going to do it right. If you're, listen, a person is Makayim Mitzvahs Yeshiva Aretz, he comes to Eretz Yisrael. He's Makayim Mitzvahs Yeshiva Aretz by being here?
Sure.
I'm not going to go into the whole machlokas, right? I'm saying the way we've been learning more or less, okay? He's Makayim a mitzvah, nachon? But our whole avoida here is like, if we're going to do it right. Do it right. So he says over here, Shabbos has that thing of, something happens to you. This kedusha, experiencing moments where there's no sitra achra, happens to you whether you like it or not. It's not you that did this. Why? V'kidashto mikol azmanim. Hashem, you did this. Yantiv is different. What happens on Yantiv? Bidiyuk. We are Mekadesh. Mekadesh Yisrael. Vazmanim. Right? Shabbos is Kviya V'kaima, meaning this thing happens whether we like it or not. This cleanliness, this world void of Sitra Achra. So he brings you another just beautiful drush here. Noros Matzinu B'Sefer Eitz Hadas Tov. There's a sefer called Eitz Hadas Tov. He says here, Lagon Reb Uziel Meizlish, Hamevar Taima, the milsa shetzorich lechabed ish zaken v'seva. What's the reason why we have to honor an older person? K'mo shenemar mipnei seva takum. You stand up before someone of old age. Shehu mipnei shekvar avru alav shabbatot harbe b'meshach shnot chayav. This is Gevald. But what did he basically say over here? He says, like when we look at a survivor, Chalila, right? And we say, wow, what that person went through, right? It changes our experience with them. Even if they mamish became like totally, off in every manner, but you look at them, you're like, what they went through. And just because of what they went through, it's me'ayr in us to look at them differently. He says over here, you look at someone older of age, look at him, Gevalt, what he went through. He went through thousands and thousands of days, thousands of Shabboses, meaning he, whether he liked it or not, went through so many moments in his life, much more than me, where the Sitra Achra didn't exist. He went through that. He's saying that's how you look at it, what he went through. Yeah, he went through Shabbases and Shabbases and Shabbases. V'chol Shabbos v'Shabbos mekadeshes kol echad ve'echad. And every single Shabbos mekadeshes each and every one of us, whether we realize it or like it or not. That's the covet you give to someone that's older, to an elder, that he's been through a lot of Shabbases. Yeah.
That's the parallel to Yom Kippur. There's Mechaper Memela.
Itzumo, you're saying that Itzumo shel Yom Mechaper, very good. Right. Itzumo shel Yom Mechaper by Yom Kippur, it happened, something happened whether you like it or not. Shabbos Kedushas Azman happens whether you like it or not. Very good. V'hine bo cheshbon, shalo en medubar bezaken ha'mefursam le'oved Hashem muflag parush me'aver olam. We're not speaking about some guy that you say about him, wow, this 85-year-old Yid, he was mamish for 35 years, steiging in a yeshiva somewhere, no one knew about him. No. Ela bechol ish pashut mehamon am, tzarich lechabdo machmas kach. You got to give covet just because of this mere fact. Ki kol ish miYisrael hashomer Shabbos miskadesh b'kedushas Shabbos biyodin uvelo yodin. Biyodin uvelo yodin. Now we have a nice thing to do tshuva for. When do we say these words, biyodin uvelo yodin? Ve'al chet shechatanu lefanecha biyodin uvelo yodin. Which means what? Now, we always say, I'm doing tshuva for the sins I know of and the sins I don't know of. Now we have a different pshat. It says, I'm doing tshuva for only giving kavod for people that I was aware that it's shaykh to give kavod to, and also for those that below yodin, that they didn't even know how much kavod they deserve because they went through so many Shabbos in their life. I'll give you one more pshat, just because we're there already. The last Motzei Yom Kippur of Rav Shlomo's life, he said the following Torah. He died a few weeks later, right? So he said this. He died about a month later. He said, Al chet shechatanu lefanecha biyodin v'lo yodin, Ribbono shel olam. I'm doing tshuva for all the things I know of and all the things I wish I didn't know of, he said. Our buddy Moshe Geller, alav hashalom, was with him when he used to tell me that all the time. He said it to me all the time. V'chach amar harav HaKodesh HaChidush Yarim. Last paragraph we're going to do for today. It's Chis Yagen Aleinu. The Chidush Yarim says, Ki b'chol erev Shabbos Kodesh, bizman hasamuch l'Shabbos, holech Moshe Rabbeinu be'atzmo l'chol ish miYisrael lehodio sheShabbos hayom. This is what it means when we say Shabbos, on Shabbos morning, Yisbach Moshe b'matnas chelko. We learned already that means that Moshe Rabbeinu is the one that lets lech vehodiem. Remember we learned that last time? Lech vehodiem, let them know. But we said it wasn't, the lesson of hodiem wasn't about letting someone know. We said that the language of da'as over there meant, v'ha'adam yadach es chava ishto, go and connect them to what's worth being connected to. The matana called Shabbos. So he says here, every hachana l'Shabbos, every Friday, Moshe Rabbeinu is coming to each and every one of us and letting us know Shabbos hayom, connecting us to what we're about to enter into. Va'afilu, he says, now the Chidush Yarim says, Va'afilu ye'ish sagur u'mesugar, the most closed person, the person with mamish leiv even, a heart of stone. Nothing goes in, nothing goes out. Even those yidden. Gamken yichye margish shekedushas haShabbos ba b'knisha Shabbos Kodesh. Even him, the Chidush Yarim says, he feels something is in the air when it's coming in. I've had so many conversations with friends that checked out from many different things in life, and they said to me that the hardest time of their chazara what they call she'elah, the time they struggled with the most was Friday afternoons towards Erev Shabbos. I said, why? You're done with Shabbos. He's like, because there's something in the air that you could try to rebel against, and even you'll go to the biggest party and greatest rave Friday night and go and do horrible things, but that zman, that the Kedusha. And I'm realizing it's because Moshe Rabbeinu still comes to every single Yidla and he lets them know. He's like, listen, if you do it or not, that's your cheshbon. But my job is to let you know, remind you, al tzdas, iskashrus, something huge is happening in the air. What's happening in the air? You're entering in 25-hour zone that the Sitra Achra does not show up. The Malachim Mekatrigim, the prosecutions don't come up. The judgment doesn't come up. The miruk, that level, that removes from the air. So we're saying like this. If that's the case, if this is all the case of what we're entering into, the hachana l'Shabbos, the preparation towards going into that zman, It's a very, very special time, a very beautiful time, and I just give us the bracha to find more and more new hacks and tricks and tactics to make our Friday afternoons Hachana Liyom Kippur.
Okay.
We'll continue next week, Be'ez Hashem. Good Shabbos, everybody. Good Shabbos.